talking about health and medical. We're talking about everything from doctor's visits to prescription medicines to where we get health care, anything and everything that you can think of that would help us save money on health and medical. Maybe dental services, maybe eyeglasses, whatever you can think of along those lines. Gail says, use a flexible spending account. Absolutely. And I would say, if you don't have the high deductible healthcare plan, look into that too and consider using an HSA. But either the FSA or the HSA, I would say you ought to be using one of them, and that'll save you some money on taxes and have some other benefits going there too. Kim mentions the HSA. I've got another one on the HSA. Melanie says, eat better and work out. Get those annual screenings. I was talking to a nurse this week who in conversation shared that she hasn't had an annual checkup or a biometric screening for about 8 years, and she's a nurse. Yes, gotta stay on that. Stephanie loves that too. Regular checkups, Zarte says, prevention is important. It's so true, right? It's like so many things we're talking about, under the category of maintenance. Our bodies, our health, right? The more we can maintain, the less big expenses we'll have as things break down with us physically, mentally, and otherwise. Genevieve says, Good RX. Oh, yes, love Good RX. You might check them, even if you have great insurance benefits, which, I mean, you work at Pinnacle, hopefully you're on our health care plan, or if you're not, you're on one with your spouse or someone else in your family. But sometimes on the name brand prescriptions in particular, it can be cheaper than going through your insurance. So check out Good RX. Love that. David says, don't do stupid things that your body would allow you to do when you were younger, but now you're more at risk of injury. Again, ounce of prevention kind of thing. Love that. Eat better. Got lots of good suggestions coming in. Make sure you're in the right plan, Jennifer says. Absolutely. So we're talking about health plans, I would assume, with that comment there, and very important to make sure you have the right health insurance. We have several ones to choose from. And again, if you have access to a different healthcare plan through a spouse or another family member, I mean, I love Pinnacle, but you gotta make your choices based on what's the best care and service you get for the same amount of money, and just look at all your options, both here and elsewhere, if whatever you have available to you. What other ideas do you have to save on health and medical? A few others that come up sometimes, this probably goes without saying, but try not to go to the emergency room for every little thing, right? Maybe that goes to an ounce of prevention, but sometimes you just got to understand that. But you're just going to pay so much more. So try to take care of things with regular doctor's visits and things of that nature. Walk-in clinics when you can. When you're looking at eyeglasses, it's kind of like the clothing thing or the food thing. Try the store brands, and not really so much a store brand, but no one's going to know that you've got Polo Ralph Lauren glasses. I'm sorry, no one's going to know. Now you can take them off and show folks, hey, that's what I got, but they're not going to know. And so, I mean, if you really want that, that's great, but no, you're not getting any big extra quality because you bought a name brand pair of glasses. And there's all kinds of ways you can save when you're looking at glasses or contacts, where you buy them from, and is it online or in person, and what store do you go to, and can you reuse the old lenses when you just want a new pair of frames, or can you reuse the old pair of frames when you need a new pair of lenses, just all that kind of stuff. When you're buying eyeglasses nowadays, it's almost like buying a car. I mean, you're going through all this hoopla and all these add-ons that try to sell you with something as simple as a pair of glasses. So think through that if you find yourself in that category. Also, prescription drugs. See if there is a generic version. Always ask for that, right? When your doctor's prescribing you something, always ask your doctor if she's got some free samples. I can't tell you how many times people will get a prescription, and if they'll just ask, hey, do you have any samples? They can get a month's supply or whatever. Just hand it to them for free because they asked, and so keep that in mind too. Same thing with over-the-counter medicines. The generic has the same active ingredient as the name brand, so why not give that a try? Costco has a great deal on glasses Tori mentioned. Zenny says Zenny's good according to Chrissy. I've heard of them. Good tip there. Costco, Gail says, has good prices on hearing aids too. I was talking to my dad the other day about that, and he was bemoaning the fact that how expensive hearing aids are. So thank you for that tip, Gail. I'll let him know to check out Costco if that's an option for him. So really great suggestions there. Thank you, everyone. I don't know about you, but as I'm just looking at what we've done so far, I think we're up to about a $300 a month raise for sure if we choose to take advantage of the things that have been shared so far.